The NBA is more obsessed with numbers than ever before. Every decision, who plays, who gets paid, who wins, is ruled by analytics. But what if the numbers are lying? What if the formula for winning isn't in the stats, but in something the data can't measure? One player is exposing the limits of NBA analytics and proving that greatness isn't found on a spreadsheet. Let's talk about Jimmy Butler. Basketball used to be simple. You played with heart, with skill, with that fire inside of you. But over the last decade, the game has changed now. Numbers have taken over. Analytics, data, and stats. The man who started this revolution, Daryl Morey. Morey looked at basketball and saw one thing: points per shot. His idea was simple but game-changing. He figured out that three-pointers and layups give you the most points for your buck. Mid-range shots? A waste of time. This style's got a name, Morey Ball, and it spread like wildfire. Now, every team plays the same way. Shoot threes, drive for layups, no in between. It's like watching the same movie just with different actors. This shot is worth 1.5 more than that shot. That's how teams think now. Players get judged by new fancy stats: effective field goal percentage, true shooting percentage, and win shares. If you don't hit the right numbers, teams don't want you. It's turned the NBA into a video game where everyone follows the same cheat code. Find the most efficient shots, take them over and over. Follow the math. The problem? Basketball isn't math. It's human, it's messy, it's about heart and gut, and things that you can't put in a calculator. And nobody proves this better than Jimmy Butler. Let's be real. By today's NBA standards, Jimmy Butler shouldn't be a star. Look at his numbers this season before joining Golden State. 17 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists per game. Those aren't all-star numbers, not even close. He shoots 32% from 3. In a league where shooting is king, that's pretty bad. His effective field goal percentage with the Warriors, 47.3%. That's in Russell Westbrook territory, and we know how analytics folks talk about Westbrook. If you just looked at the stats, you would think Jimmy was just another good player. Solid, reliable, but not special. So explain this. The Warriors were lost before he arrived, dropping games, looking old, ready to be taken behind the barn. Then, all of a sudden, Jimmy showed up, and suddenly they're winning. Not just winning even, dominating. 10 straight wins with him in the lineup. The numbers said adding Jimmy Butler wouldn't change much. Well, the numbers were dead wrong. Basketball analytics can measure how high you jump, how fast you run, and how well you shoot. But they can't measure Jimmy Butler's impact, they can't measure his heart. He's the glitch in the system, the error in the code, the player that proves that basketball isn't just about data points, it's about something more. There's something special about Jimmy Butler that no stat sheet will ever show. Let's call it the dog factor. It's that fire, that fight, that I'm not backing down no matter what attitude. Remember the 2020 NBA Finals? The Heat were massive underdogs against LeBron and the Lakers. Then it got worse. They lost their second and third best players to injury. Most teams would have rolled over, but not Jimmy's team. In Game 3, Butler dropped a 40-point triple-double without hitting a single three. And after scoring on LeBron, he looked the king right in the eyes and said, "You're in trouble." Think about that. Short-handed, outmatched, on the biggest stage, and he's telling LeBron James he's in trouble. The craziest part? Jimmy fully believed it. Or how about 2023? The Heat were the 8th seed facing the first place Bucks. Nobody gave them a chance. So what happened? Jimmy tore them apart. He didn't just beat them, he owned them and made sure they knew it. "I own you," he told them. This is the dog factor. the willingness to fight when everyone else folds, the belief when no one else believes. As Kobe once said, "I watch guys that play every possession, not every minute, but every second." That's Jimmy. You won't find dog factor in any analytics report. You can't measure it, you can't graph it, but it wins games, it turns teams around, it changes everything, and Jimmy Butler has more of it than anyone else in the NBA now. The true mark of greatness isn't just what you do, it's what you make others do. When Jimmy Butler joined the Miami Heat, something remarkable happened. Bam Adebayo transformed before our eyes. Before Jimmy, Bam was just another good young player with potential. After Jimmy arrived, all-star, defensive monster, double-double machine. Bam himself said, "He makes you play harder, he makes you care a little bit more." We're seeing the same thing with the Warriors right now. Before Butler, people were whispering that Steph Curry was slowing down, that his best days were behind him. And now, Steph is back to setting defenses on fire, hitting shots from the logo, playing with joy again. There's no stat for that, no metric that captures how Jimmy Butler elevates everyone around him. He doesn't just make the team better, he makes each player better, tougher, more focused, more confident. Allen Iverson once got asked if practicing would make his teammates better. He laughed it off. But Jimmy, he gets it on a DNA level. Even Kobe Bryant, one of the greatest ever, said his game went to another level when he realized his main job was making teammates better. That's Jimmy's superpower. He lifts everyone up. He makes them believe. He makes them fight. And if that's not what an MVP does, then what is? This Jimmy Butler story isn't just about basketball, it's about life. We live in a world that wants to put us in boxes based on numbers. What's your GPA? How much money do you make? How many followers do you have? Numbers seem to decide everything these days. Your worth, your potential, your future. Jimmy Butler's life, however, says that's all garbage. He's an unranked high school player. Nobody wanted him. He had to start at junior college before transferring to Marquette. In the NBA draft, last pick of the first round, barely made it. Throughout his career, teams let him walk. The Bulls traded him, the Sixers let him go, even the Heat were willing to move on. By the numbers, Jimmy was never supposed to be this guy, but he never let the numbers define him. Instead, he defined himself through work, through heart, through belief. That's the lesson here. Don't let spreadsheets determine your ceiling. Don't let analytics tell you what you can't do. Numbers don't measure the heart, they don't measure drive, they don't measure the fire that's inside of you. If Jimmy listened to what the numbers said about him, he'd never be where he is today. And that's something we all need to remember in both sports and in life. So here we are. The NBA is more analytics driven than ever before. Teams make every decision based on data. Players get paid based on efficiency ratings, and yet Jimmy Butler, a player the numbers say is just pretty good, keeps proving the math wrong. It makes you wonder, what if the whole approach is flawed? What if basketball is still more art than science? What if the things that matter most can't be measured? Maybe the NBA isn't a math problem to be solved. Maybe it's still about the heart of a competitor, the mind of a champion, the soul of a fighter. Don't get me wrong, analytics do have their place. They've made the game better in many ways, but Jimmy Butler reminds us that numbers will never tell the whole story. He's the human element, the X factor, the thing that algorithms just can't predict. And every time he steps on the court and turns another team into a contender, he's sending the same message. Don't count me out, don't tell me what I can't do, don't think you figured me out. Because some players can't be defined by numbers, some impacts can't be measured, some dogs just know how to hunt. So what do you guys think? Is Jimmy Butler exposing the limits of NBA analytics, or is he just the rare exception that proves the rule? Drop your thoughts in the comments down below. And speaking of players who refuse to be put in a box, Angel Reese just had a full-blown meltdown after Jason Whitlock called her out. He didn't hold back, and she wasn't having any of it. Let's break down exactly what went down and why this moment is making headlines everywhere.